Hello, this is an Infiniti M56. It has a 5.6 liter V8 engine from Nissan, designated as a VK56VD. In today's video, I'll be showing how to, I'm almost done replacing the radiator, but I still have some tips and tricks I would like to share based on my experience doing this task. So I apologize that this video is not going to be a full removal and replacement with the step-by-step required to do it. However, as they say, half a loaf is better than no bread, right? So first, why can't I show a whole video? Because I did try to do it, but it's quite a difficult task for a first timer. And the way I usually do things like this is that I read the manual, just like you guys would read, and I try to do it my way. And then after I've mastered how to do it, I share. So is this going to be the only way to do it? Absolutely not. Is it going to be the right way to do it? I don't know either, but the whole point of sharing these things online is to show one way to do things. Someone else might have a better idea, and if they do, please share with us. So the thing that I usually try to do with my jobs is that to try to minimize any unnecessary waste. So one of the things that people usually mention, and I believe the manual actually might say that, is that you need to remove your condenser, your AC condenser. And I did not want to do that. I did not want to release it into the atmosphere, but more importantly, I'm cheap. And I did not want to have to go back and pay somebody to replenish and recharge the system. So all I did was remove this one here, and I disconnected the fluid lines for the transmission cooler lines. And this is the top one. The bottom one is somewhere in there, right there. And the most important thing I wanted to show was that I did this without causing any damage. There is a little bit of play over here, as you can see, and I'm hoping, it should work this way, that if it comes out without getting damaged, then hopefully I can reinstall it without causing any more damage than necessary. The biggest tip I'd say is, see this elbow, the one that goes over there, right? The feed line, the one that feeds the radiator, which is like the discharge from the engine, it's usually right here. Okay, this thing is fastened by 4 screws. These ones right here, 10 millimeter, but also Phillips head. But the only way I could make it work was, the 10 milli tool, and I removed that. That allowed me a lot of space to pull this out. But not only that, I hope you can tell that I did remove a lot of stuff in the way. The bracket that's usually here, your cables are loose. Oh, by the way, word to the wise, if you shut your hood after loosening these from their brackets, get some help next time you try to open the hood, because they won't pull, they won't have enough tension. I removed my front collision warning sensor, my lane intelligent cruise control sensor. My horn is gone from there. Removed screws from here and there. The AC lines are loose as well. Here as well, obviously the intake stuff. So I did quite a lot, and as I said, minimizing losses of any fluids that don't need to go, save the AC, the refrigerant. On the transmission side, I used a bolt and fingertip from a glove, just shoved it in there and put the clamp back on. The top one did not really drain anything. The bottom one had a little bit, and I caught it in time, but I still had a drip container over here, which did not catch too much. As you can see here, coolant was a majority of what ended up going in there. So I might not necessarily have to replenish the fluid, but it just depends on how quick you are with your hand, I guess, when you remove the lower one. So eventually, if I ever get unlucky enough to have to do this job again, I will definitely record the video and share the steps to doing it. Otherwise, there's one time I made a video where I was just showing the replacement, because in my mind, if you show me the replacement, I can figure out the removal. But I got a lot of negative feedback on that, so I'm not going to share a video like that. I think I'll just focus on installing it, and then if, as I said, there's enough V8s over here, if I have to do it again, I'll record another video. Otherwise, I guess if people paid me enough money, I'd kind of put myself through the torture. I think I could. But yeah, I hope this video, and although not all the way comprehensive, does still share and give you a little bit of guidance as to how to do it. And as I said, as you can see, I this thing is coming out with, I was gonna say no damage, but I might have grabbed right there. I think that's what happens. What happened, I grabbed it by hand, but again, it's coming out pretty decently. And with an M56 or with the V8s, I think it's just a matter of when. Yes, radiators do, especially plastic, you know, composite and metal radiators do fail over time, but M56 is almost guaranteed to fail before an M37 one. You know, the V8 is going to cause some issue before the V6 one. And I believe they're significantly different, by the way. So anyway, whole lot of video, I mean, a whole lot of footage, I guess. I hope it helps. I don't know. I feel maybe talking about these things help. If not, well, I apologize for wasting your time, and hopefully you can regain your 6 minutes somewhere else. All right, gotta keep working because the bugs are working on me kind of hard. So all right, before we wrap it up, so the radiator is out, but I wanted to cover this part of it while I have your attention. Some people experienced with radiator removal might ask, well, why do you even need to make a video on such a simple process? What's so special about it? I wanted to show you guys, after removing the radiator, that the difference between this and every other car that I've worked on is that the radiator shroud on this platform is part of the entire rad support. So as you can see here, there was no way for me to unbolt this and get at the radiator, swing it out that way. On the other hand, the radiator support is bolted in. I tried to see if I could kind of do something, snake it here, but nah, so much going on. So you just have to make the best of it. As I said, there are more than one ways to skin a cat, or more than one ways to kill a rat, depending on what part of the world you're in, or whatever other sayings you use. But this one here seems to be working okay. So now I've got the new one here. It's a denser unit, and yeah, just comparing, make sure everything looks good. Whatever's missing here is going to be transferred over, like these grommets right here, from the top and the bottom as well. And then this drain tube that just directs the stuff at the bottom. So the two ways to drain these radiators, you can get this hex right here, or you could have your, this one right here, it's a Phillips head, right? But then you usually put the tube over it, so stick it all the way in there. As I said, if I do this video again, you'll see it in more detail. It's a damn shame that this thing has been installed here and it needs to go. So I'll try to see if I can kind of finagle it on the way in before having to remove it, because they do use a seal, and I'm trying to find, although the seal does not look compromised at all, I'm trying to get myself in a position where I don't need to, yeah, it's not squished, it's actually good. But I was gonna say I'd buy another one, except it only makes sense to buy another one if you're going to be reusing this exact one. I don't know if the dimension on that is exactly the same as the other one here, but let's do this just to start, see how different they are. Not too different, not really. Told you the bugs were crazy tonight. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and install this. Question, if someone might have a question, where exactly did it fail? The failure was somewhere here, the seam. Always is. Right now it's on the side, but whenever the radiators usually have the plastic on top and metal in the middle, failure is usually the seam at the top too. So seems like it always happens, and in my experience it seems to happen mostly right around where the coolant gets into the radiator. Might happen other places, sometimes the plastic just cracks in some random spots, but right now this is what I see. Long-term goals, do I intend to keep replacing radiators? Well, hopefully not too long. My goal is to get an all metal radiator made, but obviously, as you can see with that funky elbow, that's something we have to figure out what we're gonna do about it. Can probably come up with a design that makes it work. Shouldn't be too bad. I was gonna say, oh, the hose design, but I think an elbow will be better, will be easier to manage. rather than a molded hose. I did actually reach out to company Mishimoto, right? But they never got back to me. My goal was to send them a radiator, whether they wanted a used one or whether they wanted a brand new one, and you know, just use that as a basis for replicating or reverse engineering and making us a radiator that's all metal and a little more durable. So I don't know, maybe more people should put pressure on him. If Mishimoto's watching this, I'm going to tag him into the video. Yeah, hit me up, man. Let's work on something. Okay. All right, I think that's really it now. Let me get back to work.